And we are live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Watch on my reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. I'll say what's up to her.
I was sneezing. I got allergies so bad. Welcome in, like, share, and subscribe. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, and we're happy to have you here, you guys. I appreciate everybody for last night. We did a Love and Marriage Huntsville collab with Keywan J and Shana underscore MCD. We had a great time. I got a lot of love, got a lot of viewers, and also gained 10 subscribers from last night. So I want to thank you all to my new subscribers. Welcome to my channel, to my current subscribers. I also love you and appreciate you as well. I want to shout out to the replay game. Some of y'all caught the lives late. That's okay. That's why we have it as a replay game. But welcome to the channel. We hope you enjoy us. Please also subscribe to the other ladies. They are in my description box. If you are not subscribed to any of them, please subscribe to all four of us. But yes, I just wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you so much for you guys coming through. I had a great time, and yes, we're gonna get this going. Hi, Shani. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So we are here for Married to Medicine. So we have this episode called Baggage Claim. Y'all, this episode said a lot without actually saying a lot, if that makes sense. Mrs. Best, do you agree?
I think it's a bridge. It's definitely setting up, I think, for the rest of the drama in the season. And I'm happy that they're doing it in episode 5 versus episode 9 or 10.
Yes, I agree, because I can't stand a season that drags out and then we get to the good stuff at the end when we don't really care anymore. So I think they are pacing it very well. So the scene actually opens up with Eugene and Toya. So they are, having a conversation about their party. And Eugene felt like, he should have supported Toya and maybe not have do what he had done, which is, be defiant and, supported her a little more. So he apologized. And I was like, Eugene, now, when you right, I'm with you. And when you're wrong, I'm going to dismiss you. Because at the end of the day, you did nothing wrong, in my opinion. You've done nothing wrong. Toya did not explain to you her plan of action. And you were chilling, having a good time because this was supposed to be your housewarming party. She should have pulled you to the side and said, hey, I have this great idea. Would you be willing to participate and let it there? Y'all should have had that conversation in private. So the fact that Toya just brought it up out of nowhere and then talking about Eugene, I need you to leave the house and everything, I didn't think he should have apologized. Mrs. Best, do you think Eugene should have apologized to Toya?
No, I do not.
Okay, so I'm glad we on that same page. But please explain why
His
you don't think.
apology kind of sends the wrong message to somebody who thinks like her. It kind of sends the message of like, okay, if you yap loud enough and hold a grudge long enough, you'll get an apology from me. But then again, when he spoke about the fact that he let what they were saying about him impact how he would have reacted to his wife, whether I like Toya or not, you shouldn't let outside entities impact how you treat your spouse. So he was right to apologize if it was for that. But he was not right to apologize for responding to her, because if somebody come at you crazy, you have a right to respond, spouse or not. But if he truly felt, and I don't believe he felt this way, but if he truly felt like he shouldn't have spoke to her that way, or if the way he spoke was influenced because of what other people were saying, then okay. But I honestly just feel like on camera, Eugene is going to do whatever he can to not make his wife look bad. This whole episode he spent defending her. And it's like at some point you have to admit, like Damon will say, like, I know Heavenly be tripping, but I'm still not going to let y'all disrespect me, and I'm still not going to disrespect y'all. So I wish Eugene would kind of take a page out of Dr. Damon's book, and like, you can acknowledge her bad, especially if you're not going to check it and stop her. Just at least acknowledge it. But
this is my problem with, because I agree with what you're saying, but I also agree that I don't think that's what it was at all. But they would not have this ammunition if Toya wouldn't repeatedly give it to them. Like the whole fact that we know Eugene's, member is small is because Toya keeps alluding to that. She's done it more than once on the show. We keep alluding to their finances because they move every season. I feel like she gives the people the ammunition they need to use it against her and then expects them never to use it, if that makes sense. Like, you can't give somebody a gun and expect them not to shoot it because then there's no point in having a gun. That's how I feel. I would never like, for me, I would never say something that I would want repeated, no matter how funny or silly it may have been. If you knew that giving that ammunition was going to hurt you, you should have never said it. And I'm talking about the text messages that probably led to that.
Yeah, but this isn't about the text. It's about a married couple. And that's what I meant by saying, if they are letting stuff that happen with other people impact them, then apologize for that, fine. But yes, I get what you're saying. Toya did start this, and Toya does always put Eugene in situations where, as Simone said to Cecil, y'all always put me in situations I'm made to fail. That's actually what Toya does to her spouse. But for the sake of marriage, I do understand why Eugene apologized. If only, the only way I understand it is if his true reason is because he wouldn't have felt no way if his friends wasn't there and commented on how she was talking to him. But the problem with Eugene is he's always going to okay Toya's bad behavior. So we don't know really how he feels. And a piece of me feels like he doesn't want to lose her so much that he's willing to work far away from her during the week so he could get a break. Because he does this every couple of years if we pay attention. Work somewhere, got to commute far to, or takes on a job that keeps him away from the house. Naya says she got the emotional range of a flea. That's probably why he apologizes. Eugene also, like, something you always bring up, James, is that certain career paths cause people to think differently. And doctors, they critically think and they think differently. And they're also trained to look for the lesser of two evils. And when you're dealing with somebody who has the emotional intelligence of a flea, is it really worth it to fucking explain if you know you're not going to leave them anyway, regardless of the result? Or is it better to just apologize and move it forward? Eugene is a simp. Eugene is a good man, but he is also a weak one. Just because you strong or have a good career and make lots of money does not make you the best man. I would respect him more if he stood up to her, but as James always says, she low-key out of his league, so I feel like he just gonna keep her.
I agree with that. I agree with that heavily because overall, that's what happens when you get somebody out your league. You end up just taking on and accepting the bullshit, accepting their ways as if that's appropriate to do. So yeah, I absolutely believe that's exactly what it is. So that was all from pretty much their segment. The next segment we have is Quad and King. They're getting ready to go to Ghana, and from what we understand of them going to Ghana and everything they're talking about, there's a lot of things that are going on, with how much they're attributing to this journey of them having babies. We understand that finances have been something that has been a bothersome because they're taking a lot of time away from working to see this happening, especially King. He's saying this is costing a lot of money. He's taking a step back from working. So, they're trying to kind of see each other's point of view of this. Quad is also trying to reason because he already has a kid. So he already understands that this process is going to be alluded where this is her first experience having a kid, and he's trying to see it from their point of view. This was a great way to soften him up to the viewers. I definitely appreciate this compared to the first opening of the episodes. But I feel like, to me, there was something missing in this element that they weren't quite talking about. Did you also feel that way too? About Quantum King?
Yes. That's what I will say for now. Just yes. There's something inauthentic about these two individually. There's something inauthentic about these two as a couple. They do not fit the mold for this show. Bravo in the call center, I'm calling you out. And a thug don't often do it. It's very rare. Figure out what the fuck to do with Quad like y'all had to figure out what to do with Phaedra. Figure it out. Throw her somewhere, test the water, do whatever you have to do. There are so many shows based in a vicinity that's nearby Atlanta where Quad is centrally located. Figure it out, find a sister network. And y'all know I'm a Quad fan. I do enjoy Quad. She's funny. However, I feel like any relationship she has on this show, whether it works or doesn't, we're always going to kind of compare it to Dr. G. That's one. And then separately from that, I don't know, the stuff that she has to share and like just seeing her suddenly like so invested and emotional about having a baby when just a couple seasons ago you was at Dr. G's house whipping up beautiful meals and was pissed off and in battle at the thought of even discussing having a child. I don't know. The jump for me is like, I don't feel like she'll be vulnerable and share it with the ladies the way that she should. I don't know. Something's off with them.
That's why I'm not going word for word of what they said, because there was a lot of word salad, as we like to use that term, where we're talking about finances, we're talking about whether or not we really want to do this. It's like, okay, there's only so much I can really get with this scene.
If a man want to have a baby by you, he gonna find a way, and he not gonna give up if he can't find a way. It's the truth. If a man wants to have a baby with you, he will. I don't feel like King wants to have a baby with Quad. And I know people like to be like, oh, the relationship's not real. Oh, this and that. I do think they have a real relationship. I don't think it's as good as she makes it out to be. I feel like Quad maybe realizing red flags in real time as she's on camera and probably in too deep. But the more I see him on the screen, all I'll say is the less I like him.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Hi, Keywan. Thank you for being here, guys. Make sure y'all subscribe to Keywan_J_Anderson_TV YouTube channel. She was here with us last night. We had a ball. So we appreciate Keywan for stopping by and watching our channel. We appreciate it. So, that's all I'm going to say about Quad King. As I said, until I see more, I'll comment on more. But, what'd you say, Naya? Because I think you made a good point. Gray being off the show eliminates a lot with Quad.
It does.
It does. Yes.
It does.
Absolutely.
There's a reason this show, though, was called Married to Medicine. Because the premise of it really is to show doctors dealing with people in professions that make it hard to have an ordinary or normal relationship in. And without her being with the doctor, I'm just looking at this like, I don't know. And then I want Quad to start answering some questions, like
Me
deeper
too.
about her life. But, I'll digress. I'll shut up, James. Sorry.
No, you good. No, that's what you're here for. No, shut up. Keep going. But anyways, y'all, we're going to move it along. So we have a kind of a split scene here. So we have Simone meeting up with her sister. Her sister lives in the DMV area, so her and Simone like to get together every couple of months to catch up. And then we have Cecil with his brother. His brother just moved to Atlanta after going through a divorce. So their siblings are kind of there for them because right now Simone and Cecil, after having that very tumultuous episode with their children, they're on completely separate pages. So who should I start with first? Should I start with Simone and her sister first, or should I start with Cecil and his brother first? Who should I do first?
Do it in the order we saw. Who do we see first? Simone and her sister.
Simone and sister, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, they were the least problematic. Go with them first.
Okay. So Simone explains to her sister what happened. The boys came over. They brought us some dinner, and the conversation took a turn when, we talked about the prevalence of finances, schooling, and education. And the whole thing is Cecil and I are never on the same page when it comes to the boys. We are always on two different things. I voice my opinion, and he never supports me. She goes, I am tired. I'm tired of always having to be the bad guy. I am tired of always having to, put my foot down when I'm surviving. I am just tired, and I just want him to show up for me, but he won't. He won't show up when it comes to the boys. He won't show up. It's just, I'm carrying this all by myself, and it's not fair. It's just not fair. And I said, Simone, if you would file for divorce and actually stick with it versus listening to the auntie in your head, you wouldn't be going through this. Cecil will have his shit, you will have yours, and there it is. I feel like, and Mrs. Best, you can kind of interrupt if you feel this too. I feel like the reason why Simone really won't divorce Cecil is because she didn't want to have to pay him spouse. I do. I really feel like that. I'm sorry,
We
y'all.
never got the details of the divorce because she was very careful to do it off camera.
Yes.
Remember, they came to the reunion and that shit was almost final, which also should tell production, get rid of this loud banshee. Please get rid of her because when we do need to know something, she keeps it private. And the reason I say that is because I would have loved to have known what went into that divorce settlement.
Me too.
To see who was going to get what. I would have loved to have known, even if I couldn't know the settlement. But if she would have talked about it on the show, I would have loved to have known what Cecil was fighting, what he was asking for. I'm curious. But at this point, James said something to me via text message earlier today that was real when it comes to Simone. In real time, you bought that boy a car, you doing live, smiling, bringing him with press tours for you. So why the fuck should we give a fuck about your tears? We need to be more worried about your overbite because the sandwich hate to see you coming. That's the bigger issue.
I was going to mention that at the end of this scene, at the end of Cecil's scene. But now that you brought us there, we'll go ahead and go there. No, that's okay. Now that you brought us there, we'll go ahead and go there. So you guys know in real time, Simone brought him a Tesla. And I'm sure that Chase credit card is still active today. So her doing all this stupid and hollering, crying over something that really don't matter now is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy because at the end of the day, you gave in like they knew you would. So what the hell does it matter now? Now, Cecil's conversation cracked me the fuck up. I'm sorry. I was hollering. So Cecil and his brother are in the boom boom room. And his brother was all like, you know, I'm going through this, but you know, Simone like a sister to me. Like she like a sister. And you know, I hate to see y'all going through this. And he's like, you know, I love Simone. I do. I love her to death. But she got to understand, you know, we had it hard coming up when we were coming up. We had it really hard. Our parents made sure that, you know, we didn't have to work as hard as they did. I had to stand in the financial aid office line for almost 3 hours to get my loans and stuff. I didn't want that for my boys. I wanted them to have it better. Why, as Black people, do we always have to struggle? And always have to make sure our kids struggle, make sure our family struggles. This is not right. Cecil, I understand, brother. But it's not about that. It's about you and her being united for your children. So whatever she feels, you needed to have felt as well because this was a concern for her. It has nothing to do with your kids struggling. They're going to be okay regardless because you raised them to be okay. Now, see, I had a few problems with this, first of all. One, I'm fighting my two front teeth because I understand where Cecil is coming from. However, that is something you do when your kids are from 18 to 21. Once your kids are past 21 and they get their first degree, which it took them kids a little bit longer than that. I get that, y'all. I'm not saying that. But from 18 to 21, that's when we start to cut shit off that need to be cut off. Meaning, what is your plan? Are you going to work? Are you going to get an apartment? Okay, we get an apartment. Am I splitting half with you for the first year? Let me tell y'all something, y'all. I'm going to be real with y'all. When I turned 18 and moved to Arizona, my mom gave me 3 months of paying my rent. 3 months. I had 3 months to figure out, one, I'm in a new state, so I had to get a whole nother job. My car was working half the time, so I had to figure that out on my own. But she gave me 3 months of free rent. So I took that 3 months and I said, okay, I need to get a job once that pays the bills. And back then, my rent was only $375 a month. So I easily could have found a job to cover that. My more concern was how was I getting from pillow to post? How was I getting from A to B? That was my whole thing. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to need 2 jobs. So I got a full-time job and I had a part-time job and I was in school full-time. The great thing about having my full-time job is that it was on the same campus as my school. So it was the easy 8 to 5. I'm in class from 6 to 10, Monday through Friday. That's how it was. So I feel like for me, I understood Simone more than I understood Cecil. I'm just going to put it to you that way. I understood Simone more because that was more in line with the life I had to live. I didn't grow up with the privilege that I could stay on my mama's credit card till I'm 25 and 26 years old and run up $60,000 a year. I didn't come from that. I didn't come from that. I had $900 from August up until November to figure shit out because my mom was saying I'm done after that. So, and like Naya said, I've been to the financial aid office, you know, having to have, you know, what saved me from actually getting financial aid is that since my parents were divorced, I got to choose the primary parents instead of having to claim them both. Sorry for that loud ass motorcycle, y'all. But yes, that's just what it was. So I don't know. Mrs. Ness, how'd you feel about Cecil staying with his brother?
Your brother feels differently, and he grew up in the same household as you. Your brother tried to guide you and tell you right. Your brother was trying to tell you that you don't appreciate your wife. That's what I heard his brother keep trying to say to him. Be grateful. It seemed like his brother understands that Simone is the brunt of the income. Listen, Cecil, I seen you go online and try to defend yourself because you say you got jobs and a real estate portfolio and all of that. But guess what? You don't show it. You so busy crying on TV about Black people always wanting our kids to work for something. But, sir, we don't see you really doing much. We see your wife working her ass off on a television show, doing interviews, delivering babies, running a private practice. We see your wife doing stuff, but we don't see you doing much. And what little that you listed, your wife is doing all the time. And with what you're doing, you're still not making and matching the income of your wife. I know that for a fact because the OBGYN will never go out of business because women are always having babies, always having periods, always going through something. We have a whole separate reproductive system. So Simone will be good. I feel like Cecil just doesn't care. Because I think back to Tammy, and I hate to bring up Tammy and her cooking arm. However, the thing with Tammy is it seems like we all pay attention to the fact that he turned to Tammy for someone to talk to instead of his wife. But I also feel like a piece of that is that Tammy was providing him with something that he was not getting from Simone and that he's not able to give to Simone. I don't feel like Cecil cares. I genuinely don't. I just don't. If he cared, he wouldn't have to talk to his brother for that. As for the kids, he proved that he is the problem in his response. Why the fuck are you in tears because you had to stand in line for financial aid? Sir, it is 2026. If Michael or one of your boys needs some financial aid, you go to FAFSA.gov and sign up like the rest of us. You don't have to stand in line for 3 hours no more. It sounds like because he had trauma from having to work for something, now he don't want his kids to have the same trauma. Honestly, I feel like Cecil is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like he really is a lazy ass motherfucker, but he's just not going to fully show that because he'll keep a job and do just enough so that people won't view him as that. But I don't know. I'm kind of tired of Cecil. His reason was dumb. There's nothing wrong with financial aid. And I understand you don't want your kids to do student loans and stuff. Then encourage them to study and get a scholarship. You don't hear him doing that. He just wants to say yes and spend Simone's money. So I'm over Cecil.
I agree. That comment, I did see that online about him saying that he felt like Camille Grammer. He didn't see it coming. Camille Grammer did see it coming. That's why she got on the show and made sure she had a plan B.
Yeah.
So we're not going to act like that. I would never forget him saying, I was like, oh, wow, you comparing yourself to a middle-aged white woman who is set for life pretty much? Okay, Cecil, okay. Even when, yeah, exactly. You still need an OBGYN. Cecil need to go be with Tammy, child. Lord Jesus.
Whenever a man says that, I really feel like when men look for a wife, like they don't just want the wife, like they want a friend, someone they can talk to, things like that. And he could do that with Tammy, but he can't do it with Simone. And he didn't even care about Simone. He was more mad about his point. I feel like this is an ego thing with Cecil.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a realtor, Shani. That's what he claims he does. He says
he used to be in tech for Coca-Cola. That was his job. Yeah.
He also said in his recent post that he has invested. He did not tell us what it is that he has invested in. He pulled a quad, but we know that he invested. There's no way to confirm or deny if he invested with his money or Simone's money, but he claimed he invested. The only thing I know he invested in, though, is that bar.
And the root of his argument is his reference about Simone money, so he's still short sighted. Pretty much. Because to me, and once again, we know Simone didn't do shit at the end of the day. We know she still bought that little boy a car, and I'm sure that Chase credit card is still open. So the thing about it is, this is a moot point. Because Cecil ended up getting what he wanted for his boys, and his boys are end up still gloating in their mid to, going into late 20s now. So Simone, baby, you're not retiring no time soon. So you might as well go ahead and do the Jackie plan to stay doing it till you're 75.
Honestly, it's unfortunate because Cecil, you could tell he's so busy looking through the lens of what he went through. He's not even looking and paying attention to the impact of how what he says he believes in, which is not allowing them to suffer, is having the exact opposite effect that he wants to have on them.
Well, see, you see a lot of difference.
They're lazy as fuck. They're
like
lazy.
a good example of this is Dr. Heavenly's son, Zach, the one who's in dental school. Zach is a realtor and sells properties on top. I don't think he needs Heavenly and Damon's money. I don't. He got his own place. I think it's downtown. He doing his stuff. Like, he paying his own bills. I think he actually owns his condo. So it's like, and he's younger than both of them, mind you. So for me, it's like, okay, so what's Heavenly and Damon's son excuse versus your kids who still running up the credit card bill and still, like, what's the excuse there?
Yeah, because if your kids, like, my dad got his stuff together and is doing extremely well in life for the first time. I'm very proud of him. I could call my dad if I had a struggle with anything and he could probably bail me out, but I don't. I try to problem solve and figure things out on my own. Your parents can have a lot, but as individuals, we should want to be self-sufficient and independent, regardless of gender and all of those things. But I do agree with Hot Pink's comment. Don't nobody want their daughter dating no lazy ass man. Don't nobody want that unless you just really, really broke and your daughter marrying that man is gonna be a come up for the family or something. But like, don't nobody want a true established woman that knows who she is and that is financially independent and secure is not going to want boys like Simone's sons. They're just not. I got to clean up after you. Then you rude to your family. If I need help or a tire change, you got to call your mama to use her AAA. Like, it's too much. It's too much. And then the way that they did the pasta in the pan pissed me off too. But that's
with that paper still up in it. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that because that we'll spend an hour on that alone. Like, that's how you know Simone didn't cook when they was, but that's okay.
Because she was working. She had to.
True. So yeah, we gonna move it along. Am I missing anything? No, I'm not. Okay. So the next scene is Simone is having a purse party. It was a slug at Heavenly. I saw you, Simone, but that's okay. So she has the designer come in. Her designer's name is Jackie. And the ladies are all showing up, And Toya walks in with Heavenly's purse. And she asked the designer, can you tell that this is real leather versus the other one? Can you tell this is real? And I said, oh, here Toya goes. So Heavenly left her purse at Toya's house again. I said, Heavenly, you don't get enough of messing around with this Toya. I'm telling you, she's going to keep coming for you. She kind of trying to call you bluff. Hold on, Heavenly. But Heavenly picked up Mimi, and they driving to the event together. And Mimi's just trying to get the 411 on this group chat because she said they be wild in this group chat. Like, they be talking about people's penis size, and they talk about all kind of stuff. Mimi is confused. So Mimi said, Heavenly, like, what's going on with this text thread? Like, what's going on here? Heavenly said, I didn't even do nothing. Mimi, I didn't do nothing. So Mimi reads it out loud. It's Toya saying that, I'm blessed to have a great father and husband. Make sure you guys wish your husbands a happy Father's Day. And Heavenly responded, yeah, Toya, make sure you do that, but make sure you do it on camera. So when all the other ladies get to the event, mind you, Heavenly and Mimi still haven't gotten there yet. She's telling them about the text message, and the other ladies at first didn't see it as shade. And when Toya reads it out loud, reading her message to that message, they were like, "Oh, okay, we kind of can see where you're coming from with the shade." Now, Mrs. Best, I have to ask you: did you think Heavenly's response to Toya's message was it shade, in your opinion?
I mean, yeah, but Toya started it.
That's how I feel as well. I
Are
feel
we
like
supposed to care, Toya? When you start shit with people, start talking about their fake bags and things like that in text messages, like just because she responds by talking about your husband doesn't mean that you still did not start this. So, oh well. And Heavenly always comes for Eugene. You should expect it. Why are you acting upset over shit that you expect? And if you know that Heavenly's gonna do that and come for your husband, and your husband's tired of being brought up, then why do you keep coming for Heavenly? Come for somebody else in the group.
I'm
Please.
just saying. I feel like Toya shouldn't even have said that in that text. So she goes, "Hey, it's Father's Day. Make sure you give your husbands a happy Father's Day from me, Eugene, and the kids." That's all she had to say. Like she didn't have to go that far and do that. So, and then also once again, it goes back to my point that I said in the beginning. I said in hindsight, Toya gives them ammunition every single time, and then she gets mad when people use it against her. Once again, you cannot hand somebody a gun and expect them not to shoot it. That is ridiculous. So yeah, I definitely agree. Did y'all hear Toya say she has good kids because she's making a dig at Heavenly's kids? But last I checked, Troy, you don't know how your kids are going to be. I heard that, but I didn't until you said like I thought that in my mind. But then when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, that's not what Toya not going that low. I don't because I didn't want to believe that. Popping 25. I didn't want to believe that Toya was going that low, but I did internally pick it up that way. I did. Mrs. Best, did you pick it up that way? Uh-oh.
My StreamYard was tripping.
Okay. So Hot Pink 25 said, did y'all hear Toya said that she had good kids because she was making a dig at Heavenly's kids, but last I checked, Toya, you didn't know how your kids were going to be. So that said that in the text thread. Now, I didn't pick up the kids part. Like I did, but then I'm like, why would she say that like that? But then I didn't really pick that up as being shade at first. So I kind of left it alone and looked at the other parts. But now that I'm kind of someone else has picked up on it, yeah, I did kind of look at it as was kind of a little shady. Just a little bit.
I think Toya had the idea to come for Heavenly this season. I don't see Toya thinking too far, but Heavenly ain't said nothing about your kids, Toya. You could say a lot about Heavenly. She ain't said nothing about nobody kids. She'll talk about your husband. She'll say your mama. But she ain't said nothing about Toya's kids.
Why do you think that Toya is picking on Heaven this season?
Because Heavenly's an easy target. The more that the audience loves to hate Heavenly, the more that people like Toya, who don't really have much of a storyline other than her moving, want to lean into that because the audience is going to say, yeah, like I keep seeing, I'm glad that Toya is getting in Heavenly's ass because the audience doesn't like to critical think when they're watching TV, which is fine. But Toya is not entirely dumb in that she's coming for Heavenly. I also feel like Toya is a little bit jealous of Heavenly because we've heard Toya and Eugene talk about several times on this show how part of the reason Eugene got a shot in ER medicine and getting jobs was because of Damon, who's connected to Heavenly. So I feel like that kind of bothers Toya and then the mouth on Heavenly. But at this point, these ladies are 12 seasons in. You know what you're getting with Heavenly. It's not changed and you continue to deal with her. Toya needs to stop talking shit and then people will stop coming for her because I thought her and Jackie would have a beef this season because of the stuff to Watch What Happens Live. But that's another example of Toya saying something that's shady as hell and then acting surprised or offended when the person hits her back with what she hit them with first or ignores her. And I don't blame people. I'd ignore Toya too. And all this did was make Heavenly look good this episode because I know Heavenly wanted to read her for filth, but Good job.
Yeah, heavily, I feel like would have went worse, but she ran for office, y'all, so she really taking it serious, so that's what we're gonna give her. So everybody gets there. Contessa was the last to show up. Now, Contessa didn't get the memo that this was going to be an arts and craft project. She comes in here with this very sheer, tight blue dress, and it was like I was with heavily Contessa. Now, Contessa can't dress at all. Her hair was cute, but that dress was something terrible, y'all. It just was. It didn't match anybody. It was like, where are you going? Why did you wear that? Beautiful lady, like she's so beautiful. And she misses the mark every time. So yeah, yes, she did. I believe she wanted to dress like that. It just wasn't appropriate, child. They was literally doing an like okay, but we gonna move along. So the lady explains to them what they're going to be doing. They're going to be picking out fabrics and everything, to scale away to create their own bags. And Toya decides, she goes, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it look like this fake bag here. I want to show my friends. So she picks up the purse and she goes, hey, friend, and smiles at Heavenly. And I said, Toya, 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 Toya. Why do you continue with this purse situation? So Heavenly brushes it off. It really wasn't trying to go at it with Toya. I will give it to Heavenly. She did ignore her a few times. Like she did was like, okay, I see what Toya trying to do, so I ain't even gonna go there. So they run up there, get the fabric. Contessa literally was about to flip Simone over this fabric, and I was like, oh, that would have been crazy to watch because Contessa's strong as hell. So Simone didn't stand a chance. So Simone let it go because she didn't want to get flipped over. They all created their little bags, the purse. It was cute and all. But before I get to the blow up scene with Heavenly and Toya confronting this text message thing, I got to go over to Dr. Contessa's house where Scott's having a barbecue. Scott has basically a chef because he didn't want to cook nothing because y'all know Scott don't cook anything according to Contessa. The day after her birthday party, she had to cook breakfast for everybody that, and had a big old brunch at her house that she had to do herself. So when Scott wants something done, Scott hires a chef. Peep that, y'all. So he has Curtis, Dr. Eugene, and Dr. Damon over. And, they're talking to Eugene about, Toya because Eugene's like, well, I think Toya was upset about, some of the things that were being said with Heavenly. Heavenly always goes at it with Toya. And, our banter is different from y'all's relationship. And, what y'all saw basically was just kind of, what we do. And Curtis was like, okay, but that's fine. But at the same time, when we pick out things and when Heavenly makes a dig or something, you can't take that personal either because we're only speaking to what we see. So if Heavenly made a comment talking about, oh, well, Eugene liked that kind of treatment and everything, you're proving Heavenly's point to be right. When you're saying that's how y'all argue, that's how you banter, because that's how we all see it. And y'all, Eugene was trying. I'm gonna say it like this: Eugene was trying to get the men to kind of see his point of view, but what they did was they kind of hit him with that, yeah, but it affects you differently than what you're actually telling us. And I think that that's what we need to understand about this whole situation. I don't think, in my honest opinion, it's what everybody else thinks about Eugene. I think it's the fact that Toya has the upper hand and the other men don't have that same issue with their women. And I think that that's what he's not seeing. So I don't know. It was just an interesting conversation, but I like how they put it back to him and saying it's not our problem with Toya or Toya's banter with everybody else. When you guys argue, it's completely y'all two and y'all having the arrangement to do it publicly versus scaling it back to do it privately like we would handle. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the men's conversation with Eugene?
Eugene needs to stop trying to defend his woman so hard. At some point, you have to say, listen, I know she do too much sometimes, but I'm a stick beside her. Say that. That's what Damon do all the time. Like I said earlier, no matter what he said, it just seems like Eugene often also adopts the opinion of Toya. because I don't think he expected on Curtis to like jump up and say something to him or the other men to agree with Curtis and Damon. Like at the end of the day, Eugene, your wife be doing too much. She's always done too much. Like, say what you want to say. If we were watching Love and Hip Hop, if we were watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, if we were watching The Housewives, Toya's behavior season 1 and really every season of this show, I'd give her a pass on. But when we finally get a show about educated Black people who are doing things that are outside of what people view as societal norms, such as marriage, success, income, like I don't want to see people like Toya doing the most. We could say a lot about Heavenly, but Heavenly ain't never put her hands on somebody, had fights, talked about kids. Like, so I don't know. I just feel like Toya does too much, and Eugene is never going to see it because he had every man there pretty much tell him, like, no, she's not innocent. Because he loved to blame other people, and he loves to have an opinion on the other women too, which is odd. Most of the men just kind of brush it off, but Eugene will have an opinion and cackle and have a key. So I don't know. I don't think him talking to them is going to change anything. He's one of those men who's going to stick beside his wife no matter what. And at this point, it's like, that's his business.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. But at the same time,
keep cussing him out on camera, leave the fucking show because we're going to keep talking about it. You can't be on a show called Married to Medicine, tell you, and then get mad when people talk about your marriage. That's what y'all have done on this show for 12 seasons.
It's a banter that isn't appropriate because when they started playing the flashbacks about, boy, you better put that biscuit in your mouth, or when she threw the biscuit at him and everything like that. So they're supposed to just turn the other way and not have an opinion about that. That shit is terrible. And the fact that you're defending that behavior. Yeah, the fact that you're defending that behavior, it's like, okay, if their wives have an opinion and they think that her treatment of you is terrible, it's because they have proof that it is.
You know what I think too, and I wasn't going to say it on the live because I wanted to be respectful and not offend people. I think Eugene is also ignorant and simple-minded and is just mad that people keep talking about the size of his pickle. I do. Because of everything that those men said to him, he kept coming back to people commenting on the size of his dick. When we go to previous seasons, because we go through this every season with Toya and them, he always gets more upset and brings up his pickle being called small or other people bringing it up. So he needs to man up and talk to his wife about that, because I'm reading Hot Pink's comments and you guys' comments here, the audience who's here. Shout out to y'all. Hope y'all like the video. And y'all are correct. Like, it's Toya who's saying the worst of the worst about her own husband. It's Toya that's saying the worst of the worst. And I'm really starting to think that Eugene is just mad that people probably think he got a small pickle. And Toya is just mad because obviously his pickle can't satisfy her the way that it needs to be, because she keeps snapping and going crazy. Because I'm going to tell you this, if your husband's really dicking you down, you're not acting like Toya. Drunk or not.
I agree with the whole part about him being offended by that. But once again, they would not have that information had your wife not supplied them with that information. So you can't get mad at everybody else when your wife is the one who said it. Like,
he needs to man up and go talk to her, because that's really what it comes down to. And no matter which way he chases it, Toya starts it. She's either starting some shit to somebody where they're reminding us of what she complained about you, or she's saying something about somebody else's husband or somebody else's kids that pisses them off enough to where they feel they need to say something. I mean, Toya gets under Dr. Jackie's skin, and let's call a spade a spade. It's hard to get under her skin. She'll tolerate you and sit there. But with Toya, Dr. Jackie be coming right back at her, shooting her right back. So, I don't know. Toya's like the annoying dog that just won't die, that people have for years and years, that just becomes a financial burden. She just is. She's too much. Toya won't king probably. Eugene was I don't care what nobody say. He was a come up for her.
Eugene is a good husband. He don't disrespect you, Toya. He's not going around saying, "Oh, I wish her." Lord, hammer. Oh, goodness. Hey, Miss David, thank you for being here today. Dr. Jackie's your favorite. Toya flies off the hinge at times. I cannot condone her behavior, but I love her and Eugene together. I'm starting to be past them at this point, because I feel like they keep complaining about the same shit every season. It's over, it's tired, it's done. Like, what else can we fight about?
I think they get the rep of being like real and sharing it all because of the stuff they've gone through on the show. But I'm starting to kind of see past it too, just because the stuff that they shared, they kind of couldn't avoid. Owing money to the government, the IRS, public information. They couldn't avoid or hide that. And then separate from that, if you move in every season or have to move in general, you cannot hide that. We're going to see a different house. You're going to have to explain it. Outside of that and her snapping at him constantly, they really ain't even shared all of that much. So I'm starting to look at Toya and Eugene like I can't even properly assess or judge y'all as a couple because from what I see, he just gives in and she gonna keep acting crazy.
Yep. I don't know if he's mad at Toya and then can express that to her, but he is passive. I think he is very passive. I don't think he's mad. I think he's embarrassed.
He's definitely embarrassed.
I don't think it's mad. I think he's just embarrassed. And I wish he would say that. I wish he'd be like, I'm embarrassed when you run your mouth and you tell your friends, my penis is small. I'm embarrassed when
he says that though, and this is why I don't love them as a couple. If he says that to her the way that she is not going to receive that. Oh, you trying to say I'm embarrassing? You trying to say that's a problem? I don't care. What about like the way if she handles him the way that she handles him on TV, off TV, I don't even think that him saying that would work. I really think he just needs to man up and put his foot down. Because at the end of the day, if I was Eugene, I'd be like, look, bitch, you either gonna get a job or shut the fuck up and stop talking about my man parts. One of the two. Or you gonna stop starting shit, having other people talk about my man parts. But that's what he needs to do. Because I don't care what nobody say, oh, this is a job for Toya. The Toya stands and fans. Being on TV a couple months out the year, the way that she spend money, I promise you, is not enough.
Where'd you hear that from? I'm
curious. That's literally opposite of everything.
Yeah, that's opposite. Where did you hear that from? Because I did not hear that same thing. I'm just saying. It could be true, but I didn't hear that. Yeah, I didn't hear that at all. And based on the situations that we were in at that time, I don't believe that either. So yeah. I would think Toya, she would not want no woman trees. That's what's going to end up happening. That's usually how that works. So I'm just saying, because that's the demonstration that she's showing them. So, hey, Eugene could definitely say the name unhinged things. Imagine a world in which Eugene's let loose. It probably would get her in check. That's probably what she needs. I wish that she would stop giving these women something to talk about her husband. He don't deserve that. But if that's what they like, I love it. Yeah, I agree. So, but we're gonna get back to this because I'm running out of time for y'all. I got another live to get to in about 5 minutes. So now we get back to the ladies. They're bringing up the text message thing, and Toya reads it out loud. Heavenly says that no, it was not meant to be negative. So when Toya reads it out loud, the other ladies were like, "Nah, Heavenly, that was meant to be shady. Like, come on." Like, and Heavenly's like, "No, it's not that. I did not mean to be shady. I meant it in a positive way." And Toya's like, "Heavenly, this is what you always do. You always do this. You always do that." And Heavenly's like, "That's what you always do. You just a fake ass bitch." It just went off. Dr. Jackie had enough. She had to step into that matronly mark. She goes, Toya contestant. Heavenly Mimi. Y'all know y'all better than this. I can't take this. I can't take the fight. I can't take all of this, Heavenly. Maybe you shouldn't have said, maybe she said something you shouldn't have said. Maybe if she threw a rock, you should have threw a bowl to Heavenly. You shouldn't have did it, Heavenly. Toya, Heavenly loved you. You know she loved you, Toya. But y'all have to be sisters. Y'all have to get through this. And all you saw was contestant on the verge of tears. Like, what the fuck going on around here? So the lady's like, okay, well, it's been nice. Here's your bags, everybody. And that was pretty much the episode. And Toya says that her Heavenly are going to be fine. As long as she stops, which she probably is not. And Heavenly saying, I'm going to be there for Toya. If she needs her rent paid, I'm going to help her. So that's what it is. Both being shady in the confessionals, but I lived for it. I did. I know y'all like James. What about the scene with Mimi, Angel, and Brandy? Y'all, I did not pay attention to that scene. I don't know what they was talking about. All I heard was dating, kids breaking TVs, and what they want in a man. That's
I
all.
think some of it was important because it kind of, the only part of that scene that was important is that it shows that Mimi definitely has a strong disdain for Toya. But other than that, I know the audience liked it a lot. I've seen that it was received well online. The scene kind of reminded me of Basketball Wives, and I don't want that to happen with this show.
Maybe that's why I didn't really pay much attention to it because I'm like, I just, I don't know. It was something about that scene that just didn't grab me. It reminded me, as much as it reminded you of Basketball Wives, it reminded me of Married to Medicine Los Angeles.
It sounds
How
like it
long
not
winded,
survive.
yeah, how long winded those scenes were with those ladies. It was like the first season was cool with the actress that was all over the place. I actually liked that first season. The second season, yeah, I was kind of like, y'all lost me with this. But that was pretty much the episode. Let me read these comments. I'm being mean. I'm starting to get a lot of these. Hold on. Y'all just in my comments today. I love it. 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 Okay. So Vista said, don't forget she bought her house before the pandemic. During the pandemic, things went up almost like 100%. I heard on another podcast she made a lot of money off of her house. Okay.
There's also
Yeah.
paperwork stating she owes a lot of contractors and stuff for the build of that house. So I
Yeah.
think that the house, she probably did make a lot of money on the house because I do remember seeing that. But I believe also a good chunk of the money she made had to go to pay off the creditors who built it. Unfortunately.
So it seems to me she broke even. That's how
She
I
did.
feel.
She did. It
That's
wasn't,
how.
she literally broke even. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. But it just shows pay people ahead of
Yeah.
time because you might have to sell the whole thing. And then what was it all for?
Right. I don't feel like her husband will leave her because she's pretty and great body. I also think her husband is not confident about him. If you're talking about Toya and Eugene, yes, I agree with you. 100%. What's next? I agree. I think her and Eugene are more alike than they are different, just like Dr. Heaven and Dr. Damon. One appears more passive and the other appears more aggressive. Um, mm, I don't think Toya and Eugene are alike.
They
I
are.
don't.
That's what I was saying earlier because he tends to adopt her way of thinking, which is hard to do even if you are super passive. But then in addition to that, if we pay attention to all the seasons, like even the beginning of this season when they was talking about Heavenly running for Congress and stuff, he will sit there and have a key just like her. He will gossip. He's the only man that will gossip about the women right with his wife versus being like, and not saying too much. So I do think they're alike in their mess, Toya and
Okay,
Eugene.
I can see
But
that.
outside of that, I don't think they have anything in common. I don't feel like they would have the same hobbies. If they did not meet in a space like a restaurant where people of all walks of life could be, I don't think they would have crossed paths.
Right. Now, I do think that Dr. Damon and Dr. Eugene are similar. I do think like that. I just think Damon is more quiet about his, internal mess, and I don't think he will put it out there. And I feel like Dr. Heavenly and Toya are just like too. That's why they don't get along. I do think that too. I think, but one has more ambition than the other. That's all. I can't take the plot. Which plot is about Naya? Menopause was pausing the room. It sure was because Jackie was talking about she was sweating. She didn't sweat off her deodorant. It was bad.
Jackie, why are you still here? You don't need the money. You don't entertain us. You can't even play Queen Mother correctly. I want Jackie to go retire from TV. Do all you got to do, Jackie, with your delivering babies and all of that. But can you please retire from this show? Because I'm tired of it. You seem tired. Curtis is tired. You sweating. He's running around islands doing God knows what. Like, can y'all just leave the show?
I'm chuckling at Jackie crying. Y'all. It was a what the fuck. It really was. It was like, Jackie, what is you crying for?
Go take your one a day, Jackie.
It's not like they was fighting. Like they was just going back and forth for the show, like they always do. Ain't nothing new here. I'm not a fan of Dr. Mimi. You know what? It's something about her. I'm trying, y'all. I really am trying to like her. I really am, but it's something about her that I can't quite put my finger on, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Watch what I tell you. I don't care if we take it to the end of this season. I'm gonna get it. It's something about her and Steve that just don't stay right with me. It just does. Um, it's cheaper to keep her. They don't have a prenup when those boys are all out the way. The house. He's gonna find more reasons not to come home. It's gonna be even further away for. They are not staying in that house. You can tell Eugene. I give them 2 seasons. That house is gonna be up for sale again. They're not staying in that house. Y'all, come on. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad at them because one thing I would give Toya, she need to go to HGTV. Like if Bravo don't renew her contract, she need to go pull the Egypt charade and get her a channel, get her a show on HGTV and just build homes, give people their dream homes, hire her a contractor or whoever this contractor is that built this house, get a contract with him so he can, build on. Because I'm telling you, Toya has an eye for homes. Like she can definitely do. I saw the tour of her home. It is absolutely beautiful. I want the bar room in my home. That's all I'm saying. So I do think that she should do that if Married to Medicine ever goes off air. Because I don't see her having more than one TV check. I just don't. So I just think she's gonna do a pillow to post kind of. Okay, this check is gone. I need to get another check. HGTV, y'all knock on Toya's door because she's what people want to see. Just saying. And so if you do get an HGTV contract, I want my 10% for pitching that. I'm just saying. But that was it, y'all. That was Married to Medicine. It was, once again, it was a good episode. I'm sorry I didn't go over all of the scenes. Once again, I really wasn't invested into Mimi, Brandy, and Angel. I just really wasn't, y'all. Maybe next time I'll do it because I know it's important for me to go over all the scenes. But I have a lot to cram in an hour and also make banter and make this funny. So I have to do what I got to do. Sorry, they didn't make the cut. She got her nose in the air. I feel it, but her husband peeking around the corners is a vibe. Sean Squidward got a nice wardrobe too. Not Sean Squidward. He does have a nice wardrobe, though. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the shit he wear, I cannot wait till the days I can afford that. But anyways, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next slide, which is Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all don't want to miss that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay gang. Hey, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for being here, and I will see you guys on my next slide. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.